Welcome to the channel. Here, we provide clear, actionable insights into the complex world of tax and accounting to help your business thrive.
So there's this huge, high-stakes lawsuit against a global tech giant that has really pulled back the curtain on a critical blind spot for international companies working in the U.S. It's a story all about how a clash of workplace cultures can spiral into a massive courtroom battle, costing millions. Let's get into it. And this is the quote that started it all, an alleged comment from a top executive at Samsung Research America. It's shocking, right? And it became the spark for a legal firestorm that reveals just how different the rules of employment are in the United States. So what's the story here? Well, it all revolves around a senior engineer in Silicon Valley who sued Samsung. He claims he was wrongfully fired, but the key part is why he thinks he was fired. He alleges it was all because he reported that shocking comment made by a visiting Korean executive. Okay, so according to the lawsuit, here's how it all went down. First, you have the alleged discriminatory comment. The engineer, thinking he's doing the right thing and following company rules, reports it. But instead of fixing the problem, he claims the company basically turned on him. A week later, there's a big organizational reshuffle. His paid leave, which had already been approved, suddenly gets audited. And then, the final blow. He's fired for role elimination. Only he says that role wasn't eliminated at all. The company just hired someone else to fill it. This is what a classic retaliation claim looks like. Now, this whole case, and so many others like it, really hinges on a fundamental principle of American labor law that honestly baffles a lot of companies from other countries. It's called at-will employment. And if you don't get the nuances, you are basically walking straight into a legal minefield. So what in the world is at-will? Well, in almost every single state here in the US, it's the standard. It means your boss can fire you because they don't like your favorite football team, or because it's a Wednesday, or for literally no reason at all. Now, it does go both ways. You can also just quit right on the spot, no 2 weeks notice needed. It's all about flexibility. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the culture clash. In the US, at will is the name of the game. But in South Korea, it's a whole different world. Employers need what's called just cause to fire someone, a legitimate, legally sound reason, usually tied to performance. This means Korean employees have way more job security, and their managers are operating with a totally different playbook. But here it is. This is the multi-million-dollar mistake that so many foreign companies make. They hear the phrase at will, and they think it's a golden ticket that they can fire anyone for anything. And that is absolutely 100% not true. There are massive exceptions to this rule. So this is the thing you have to remember. Firing someone for a bad reason or a silly reason, that's okay under at will. Firing them for an illegal reason, that is a lawsuit waiting to happen. So what's the line? What takes a firing from just a bad call to something that breaks the law? It really boils down to two main things you absolutely cannot do. First, you can't fire someone because of who they are. You know, their race, gender, age, religion, things like that. That's discrimination. And second, and this is the big one in the Samsung case, you cannot fire someone as payback or retaliation for them doing something the law says they have a right to do. And retaliation covers a lot of ground. It's there to protect whistleblowers, people who report illegal or discriminatory stuff happening at work. You know, exactly what the Samsung engineer claims he did. It also protects you if you file for workers' comp, or take legally protected medical leave, or help out with an official investigation into the company. Firing someone for any of those reasons is illegal, period. And here's the legal kicker. The moment an employee makes a credible claim of discrimination or retaliation, the whole at-will defense pretty much goes out the window. The tables completely turn. Suddenly, it's not on the employee to prove the firing was illegal anymore. It's on the company to prove, with evidence, that they had a legitimate, non-illegal reason for the termination. You know, this Samsung case isn't just some random one-off event. As more and more amazing Korean companies expand into the US market, they're increasingly getting tangled up in these legal webs. And it often comes down to a deep misunderstanding of American workplace culture, and more importantly, its laws. The trend is pretty clear. You see the number of Korean companies setting up shop in the US going up. And right alongside it, you see the number of these employment lawsuits climbing too. It's a pattern that has legal experts saying there's a real, urgent need for better training on all of this. A U.S. labor attorney really hit the nail on the head with this quote. The people making the final calls, often executives sent over from headquarters in Korea, are judging situations using Korean corporate rules and norms. But that's the problem. Those rules don't just not apply in the US, they can get you into serious legal trouble. So, if you're an international company operating in the US, what's the game plan? How do you keep your business safe from these kinds of lawsuits that can be just devastating? Well, experts say it comes down to a pretty clear 3-step strategy. First, document absolutely everything. If you ever have to let someone go, you need a solid paper trail of legitimate performance-based reasons that started way before any complaint was ever filed. Second, train your managers. This is not optional. Every single leader, especially those coming from abroad, has to understand US laws and cultural norms. And third, get insured. Because let's be honest, you can't always stop someone from suing you, but having the right insurance, called EPLI, can save you from the astronomical costs of fighting that lawsuit. Which brings us to the big question, right? As companies go global, it's so clear that just understanding the market isn't enough. You have to understand the laws, the culture, the whole package. In today's economy, a bad legal strategy can completely wreck even the best market strategy. So what do you think?